Ladies and gentlemen, my sincerest apologies for being late. I had one. Well, actually, you know what? It's probably best if I explain it to you once I'm on screen. So hold on. Let me just get the. Let me just make sure I get the chapter up right here. All right, we're good on the chapter. Move that over there. All right, it's best that you guys can see me once I say this. Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here, and it's been one busy morning. I call myself trying to set up a stream in order for me to react to the WUWA 2.3 showcase, and I only got like 30 minutes in. It was like an hour and 30 minutes, so I only got like 30 minutes in before I got a text message from one of my bandmates at my church telling me like, hey, you on your way? Huh? Yeah, we got practice this morning. Oh my god! So I had to cut off like 30 minutes into the WUWA stream. We're gonna continue later where I left off. Had to do that. And now now I had to come here, set everything up, and I couldn't change my, because us YouTubers, we used to be able to change our stream times through our phones. All of a sudden, we're no longer able to do that. So it complicated things because I was at practice and I really had to, be there for everybody and, get these songs down for tomorrow. And it went on for a while, a lot longer than I was thinking, so I couldn't change things. So I am so sorry to everyone that I made wait. I am so sorry. Things just pop up. And YouTube needs to do a better job of making these things accessible so that way if things happen, I can tell you and change them while I'm out instead of, streams just being left up the way they were. But, not to give you like a song and dance of my woes and tribulations. Let's go ahead and get started with this chapter. Lehman's song is finally face to face with Suho. So now we get to see what happens in episode 38 because, one, Lee Sung broke from the brainwashing of Park Do-jin, and in the process, incapacitated a great deal of hunters in order to escape after showcasing just how superpowered he can become under TL, under Park Do-jin, and is now just already making himself look guilty by running out of the dungeon. And he runs face to face with Suho, who's waiting for him. So let's begin with episode 38. As you know, I read from Tapas and I get the official translations from there. And Suho begins the conversation with, I'm gonna need you to cough up all the information you have on Stardust and the Apostle of Iterim, Lee Min-sung. And Suho's looking at him, eyes glowing mask over his face. The Apostle? Not only does he know about Stardust, but he knows about the alien too. Oh, I remember now. That masked hunter who killed Brookie and messed with our Stardust factories. And Suho just starts rolling up his sleeves and puts his gauntlets on. This man is ready to barbecue some ribs. This must be him. Not that it matters to me right now. The other hunters will catch up to me if I waste any more time here. And Lee Min-sung starts brandishing his sword, going, I can tell by his mana levels that he'll be no match for me as I am now. And he goes, and he tells him to off himself, and he just tries to use a stinger towards Suho. And Suho doesn't even move, and he catches the Suho just catches the blade with his hand. He blocked my strike. I can't pull back my blade. Just what is this power? And Suho proceeds to not only block and grab the blade, he's doing the same thing that Luffy did to Arlong when Arlong tried to hit him with his sawtooth sword. And Luffy grabbed it with his hand, and Arlong couldn't even budge it. He couldn't even move it at all. Same thing happened with Suho here. And Suho proceeds to kick Lee Min-sung directly in his face. so hard that blood shoots out of his mouth, and I think out of his nose as well. So he seriously got hurt here. I swear his mana levels are lower than mine. How can this be happening? And then Suho goes to kick him again, and Beru is hiding inside of Suho's jacket. I knew he'd be shocked. Human hunters only use mana levels to measure strength, but beings like me are able to recognize true power. And then Suho proceeds to land a couple of blows on Lee that Lee can only block. He's all like, blocking. Not only has the young master always prioritized leveling up his strength, but he's now reached a new pinnacle of physical power after training with Amut. And Suho is just easily... This is no surprise. Suho is just easily contending. With Lee right now. The young master has grown beyond what a mere A-rank hunter can overcome. And then we get back to the crater that Lee Min-sung left behind. Yeah, we get back to the crater that Lee Min-sung left behind. And then we get Miho looking at Park Dojin. Because remember, Lee stabbed Park Dojin through the heart. But he easily got back up. And while he's bleeding, he's kind of pretty much fine. And Miho is asking, Park Dojin, how are you? Weren't you stabbed in the heart? And Park isn't saying anything as another one of those stones slips out of his sleeve and into his hand, but I don't think the other hunters notice. Because remember, Park intends to turn every single one of these hunters into a follower. So he allows one of these stones to fall from his sleeve into his hand as he goes, well, you see. And then it shows it from this perspective as if he's rushing Miho, as if he's preparing. And then we get someone going, Fake Miho, what's going on here? And Park stops.
Oh, you're here. Guildmasters Choi Jong-in and Lim Tae-gyu.
Uh-huh. I had a feeling something was going to happen to keep him from taking Miho. But Choi and Lim show up. And they're both peering down into the hole. And Park immediately hides the stone while giving them that snide little... That glare when you're agitated that someone interrupted you. He's giving that glare of... 2 S ranks. This isn't the right time. And then Choi lands going, we heard the explosion and came as fast as we could. What exactly happened here?
It was Lee Min-sung.
But Lee Min-sung's just an A rank. How could he have caused so much damage?
His mana levels skyrocketed out of nowhere. It seems he may have been using a stimulant. He attacked Park Dojin without warding and escaped. I think the drug might have driven him insane.
Hunter Park Dojin seems to be doing pretty well for someone who was just assaulted. All thanks to my healing skill. Must be an incredibly powerful healing skill. Fascinating. And then Choi is just like kind of close to him.
We don't have time. We have to go after Lee Min-sung. He'll disappear into the city if we let him get away.
We certainly can't have that. Did you hear that, Guildmaster Lim? It looks like Lee Min-sung's made quite a mess. And according to our deal, we might have to. And then Park is thinking to himself, this isn't looking good. I still haven't lost my connection to Lee Min-sung. I never thought he'd be able to resist the power of our faith. Human desire truly is remarkable. I'm sure no one will believe him even if he tries to expose my true identity. And then, while he's thinking this, Miho is speaking to him going,
you should go get some rest, Dojin, just in case.
But it's still not worth the risk. I've got no other choice. I have to get rid of Lee Min-sung. It'll take a tremendous amount of holy energy, but I'll have to take control of Lee Min-sung's body and force him to take his own life. He's just an A-rank hunter. I can replace him at any time. And then it cuts to Park just closing his eyes, and he starts focusing, apparently, because there's semblance of the power that he gave Lee within his body, he's able to see what Lee sees. And he sees someone just easily dodging Lee. He sees Suho. He doesn't know who it is, though. What's he doing? Is he fighting someone? Did the S-rank hunters already catch up to him? And then a clear picture of Suho is right in front of Lee as Suho is preparing to deck Lee in the schnoz. And that's when Park Dojin realizes, and his eyes widen because he realized this is the same hunter he saw at the airport when he was a kid. What's the masked hunter doing here? So it's not just the Hunters Association that's been targeting Lee Min-sung. Was the masked hunter after him too? I didn't think I'd be seeing him again so soon. The existence of S-rank hunters, Lee Min-sung overcoming the Miss Burns' faith. It's been nothing but one surprise after another ever since I arrived in this world. This place isn't like the world that I knew, where things always went according to God's plan. But why can't I stop laughing? And all of a sudden, he gets this really weird smile on his face as he's trying to cover his face from smiling. Then we cut back to Suho as he's fighting Lee Min-sung, and Lee is having a hard time keeping his own defense up. I can't waste any more time with this guy. Wait! And that's when Lee screams, wait, and Suho stops. Are you willing to let me go if I answer all your questions? What's with the sudden change of heart? Aren't you supposed to be on the same team as the Apostle of Iterim? He's the one who betrayed me first. Betrayal? Did they have a falling out? Then tell me why you were helping him with Stardust production. Because he promised to kill someone who I really wanted dead. You joined forces with Iterim just to kill someone you didn't like? The cataclysm upended my life. It took everything from me. Now I'm being ordered around by some loser who just happened to luck out and awaken as an S-rank. There's someone I absolutely need to kill if I want to reclaim who I was. What about you? Aren't you trying to hunt down and kill that alien? Well, only if we can't find any other way to resolve things. So you're not gonna kill him? That alien's here to take over our world, you know. I played a character like you back in my actor days, and he was the most despicable role I ever took on. The kind of character with no ego of his own. You let others decide what good and evil is, and fool yourself into thinking that you really have a choice between the two. You have no idea what it is that you truly want, do you? You're just like him, a loser side character who just happened to be lucky enough to come into some power. You'll see, someday you'll find yourself in a desperate situation, and you'll end up making the same choice that I did. Let me help you make that choice now. I'll tell you who you need to kill. And before Lee can continue with this rant of his, those fingers just appear right all around him. And it's Park Dojin. It's as if within the mind of Lee, Park has infiltrated his mind and reestablished a connection. Lee Min-sung, you're not allowed to say any more than that. I am thankful to you, you know. I've learned so many things from you. I take back what I said about you being useless. And to prove it, I'll be putting this body of yours to good use. What? You think I'd let you get away with? And before he can say anything, this giant version of Park Dojin in his mind pretty much just closes his hands over him as if to say, your body is now mine and I've taken control. And then there's a massive flash of power that just emanates from Lee Min-sung's body to the point where Suho has to shield himself.
Is this?
It's the aura of interim, young master, and it's much stronger than what I felt from Brokey.
And it shows Lee's body, and his whole face is like cracking. His hair is turned white. His whole body is cracking all over. Yeah, his whole body is cracking all over as he grips onto his sword, and his sword changes shape. His sword changes shape. His hair turns white. What appears to be wings comes out of his back. And Suho's just standing there as he's looking, and then Park, in control of Lee Min-sung, goes, I understand now. Huh? Why you attacked our Stardust factories, and why you came after Lee Min-sung. It was all to get to me, wasn't it? I've been wanting to meet you too, Masked Hunter. Okay, so this is like a... Okay, so Lee his whole body has been taken over. His hair has been swept up, turned white. His eyes, sclera pupils, and irises has just become one solid yellow color. Cracks have emanated from around his eyes and across his body. His sword has changed into like that of angelic undertones. He has big white wings behind his back, and as if like a fuzzy, feathery material that is all across the back of his body, but also starts to turn black near the front of it. He's got this holier than thou glow about his body. Lee Min-sung is gone. If you were to look at this person and see and ask if there was Lee, and also got pointed ears as well, all that belonged to Lee Min-sung is just gone now, as TL has officially taken over his entire body. And it shows Park smiling. And mind you, here's the thing. He's taken over Lee Min-sung's body, and he's not even physically there. He is literally remote controlling his body, forcing this transformation on Lee from a completely different location. He's not even there in front of Suho. He's just assuming direct control. He's just doing that. And he's smiling both where he is with the other hunters and controlling Lee's body while he's in front of Suho. And it's to be continued. Okay. YouTube recommended me on this, my main feeds. Well, hello, Harsh. Hello to every new person who's here. If you wonder why I don't show images, copyright reasons, I already suffered a strike because of solo leveling at one point, so I've been extra careful never to show anything that belongs to them here on the channel, not even even making sure that the font isn't even the same. So if you're wondering why I don't show images, it's because of that, and I don't want to have a run-in with them again. Let's see, what is it? Loco de Taco. I missed last chapter what happened. So essentially in the last chapter, Lee Min-sung was under the direct control of Park Dojin, you know, TL, the apostle, the member of the Apostle of Interim. He fell under control of TL, and was thus used as a means to showcase the power that he was imbuing him with by killing the boss of the dungeon. Even though this was a creature that vastly outclassed him in terms of strength, being imbued and enhanced by TL allowed him to basically one-shot the creature after slashing across its entire body, with such power that it basically left a hole not only in the dungeon, but led up to the surface where Choi Jong-in and Lim Tae-gyu were residing, just in case things went south. And after that, Lee Min-sung somehow was able to get his will back with enough power to wrest control from TL because when a person takes Stardust, or if they have one of those yellow stones forced into their body, they then become a follower of the Apostles of Interim. Lee Min-sung has resisted that And in being, and still, even though he was still imbued, since he was still imbued with that power gifted to him by TL, he made his escape and ran out. And pretty much what happened was he pretty much incapacitated the rest of the hunters. He also stabbed Park Dojin in the back. TL, the apostle. He has many names. I flip-flop between Park Dojin and TL. But he stabs him in the back, which really doesn't do anything because he gets back up after that and makes his escape outside, which is where we lead into today's chapter, where he confronts Suho, and is so confused as to how Suho is able to contend with him, not only contend with him easily, but also overpower him, despite his mana levels him sensing his mana levels and not being able to represent the true strength that he has. So not only has Suho been putting tons of points into strength, but he's also been putting a ton of time into training with Amut, which has granted him an even greater amount of power that even an A rank like Lee Min-sung is not able to overcome. Then it gets to Park, who's just so intrigued by the will of humanity, being able to resist the misburned faith, and everything that coincides with just hunters and humans in general. He's so intrigued by this. So now we have him taking direct control of Lee Min-sung, and to see and fight the masked hunter that has been throwing a wrench into his misburned factories ever since. From Brokey all the way up until now, he now gets to face off against the very individual that has been basically slowing things down. Is Bake Susiol still a hunter in this timeline? Because we're not seeing much of him if he is. Oh, do you mean Bake, do you mean Bake Yoon-ho? Is that who you mean? Because we haven't seen him. But yeah, this was today's chapter, ladies and gentlemen. This was today's chapter of solo leveling. And now we have the Apostle of Interim, someone named Brokey. Yes, Broki. This was near the beginning when Suho was running into people being kidnapped by the Hyena Guild back then in order for them to be turned into Mistburns, which would then be turned into Stardust, which would then later be upgraded into Star Drop, which has a lot more properties. So yeah, Brokey was an individual that we came across, which first introduced us to the second objective for Suho, which is to become companions with the heirs of the monarchs. And the first one was essentially the heir of the Beast Monarch, whose second in command was Brokey back in the day before he fell prey to the Apostles of Iterim, then got beaten by Suho, and then turned into a shadow for him to serve later on. So there was a lot that went on. Oh, if you hadn't seen him, I wonder if he's going to be much better and stronger than the first solo leveling. I'm talking about Bake. We'll have to see. But overall, I like this chapter because now we're getting more fights. Now, my question is, and none of you have to answer, especially if some of you have read the light novel, is I wonder how things are going to turn out once Lee Min-sung's body gets back under control, because we have no idea what effects Park assuming direct control is doing to the body of Lee Min-sung. We don't know if his body can handle that amount of power, because his whole body was crackling with energy all over. This is a forced physical transformation, like American Werewolf in London. Who's to say that that transformation isn't painful for the recipient that's being forced into this, especially if it's someone who's under the control of an apostle? So my question is, will Lee Min-sung live to see this and then be held accountable for his actions? Or is it going to leave his body, is it going to destroy his body once all is said and done? Because that's a lot of power coursing through his body right now. So these are just my hypothetical questions. Don't answer. But overall, I like this chapter. Once again, especially if you're new here, and everyone, I doubt that since Choi is still as strong as he was back in the Erase timeline. Any plans today? Yes, I still need to continue my WUWA 2.3 live stream later on. I still got some things I need to do. I need to make sure the boys are good. I need to do some other things around the house. I'll schedule that a little bit later, possibly at 2:30. But I got that to do later on, and I think I have like another video that I need to upload because I've been making a bunch of videos for Kazan, even though I've recently beaten New Game Plus last night, so I locked in. I not only did I already platinum the game, but I've already beaten New Game Plus, and now I got my hands on legendary gear. But I'm getting off topic here. Good chapter from solo leveling. We're about to see just how strong Park Dojin is against the very person that has been causing his factories to come under fire and also complicating his plans for trying to take over the world. We'll see how things go, and if Suho's training has paid off enough for him to stand a chance against an actual apostle of Iterim. So we'll have to see. But overall, I enjoyed this, and I hope you all enjoyed this entire reaction as well. Especially you new folk who came here for the very first time, from Harsh to Loco the Taco. I enjoy you being here. I really hope you enjoyed, especially with my dramatic readings and my voices and everything. All I can say to you today is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples.